Hi BCC family, Jenni Sobczak here. I am doing this week's segment on BCC Masterclass. Some of you may not know this, but I have been a practicing dermatology PA for the last 19 years, and because of my experience, I received a request to talk about maskne. Yes, those unwanted pimples that tend to show up across the nose and this part of the face wherever the mask hits. So just a little background on acne. Those little pimples will show up whenever there's an overproduction of oil, inflammation, the dead skin cells don't exfoliate correctly, there's bacteria on our skin that can lead to this, and a host of other factors. I just don't want to bore you with that. But how does that relate to mask wearing? Well, while we're wearing our mask, we do sweat, we perspire, and with that, a lot of oil sits on our skin. So that mask being very occlusive can create a favorable environment for maskne to develop. Also, some people like to wear makeup, and that too forms a nice, slick, yucky environment that will plug up the pores and lead to inflammation and that unwanted pimple. And the last thing we notice with acne is the friction, and we tend to see a lot of friction, meaning the mask is moving up and down with those who are athletes and also people who just can't keep their hands off their mask. They're keeping going up, down, and what that does is it irritates the pore, causes inflammation, gets the dead skin cells into pores that leads to inflammation, and also the old oil, and if you're wearing makeup, that gets stuck in there too. So what can you do? We can't do much about not wearing masks, but we can definitely modify the environment to decrease the chances of pimples from forming. So one thing we can do is frequently wash our cloth masks. Don't wear the same mask every single day. You're just adding a lot of unwanted old oil and bacteria back on your skin. If you wear more of the disposable masks, dispose them when it's time to be thrown out. So if they're turning colors, they're getting pilly, get rid of them. Whenever you're done wearing your mask, you should definitely wash your face, and then you can apply a little moisturizer just to kind of help prevent any skin irritation. Also, just don't wear makeup. Again, I can't say that enough. Don't wear makeup. No one can see you anyhow. So put makeup here on up, but down under here really isn't necessary. Something that can help prevent that mask from getting too irritated from the friction and the rubbing is using a facial moisturizer that is non-comedogenic or non-acnegenic, which means it shouldn't plug up your pores. A moisturizer that actually has SPF 30 with zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Now, zinc oxide and titanium dioxide are sun protected ingredients, but they do offer a little bit of a physical barrier that may help in preventing some of that irritation issues. Other things that you can do is use an over-the-counter benzoyl peroxide wash in the morning. Benzoyl peroxide is known to help with inflammation. It decreases it. It also helps with normalizing the bacteria flora that we always have on our skin at any given time, and it exfoliates a little bit. There's a couple different brands that have been very helpful with this. The ones that I like to recommend are CeraVe Acne Foaming Wash and Neutrogena's Clear Pore Cleanser / Mask. You don't have to use it as a mask, just as a cleanser. But using either one of those cleansers just for a short contact of time on your skin for like 10 to 15 seconds can really make a difference. Just make sure that you rinse the benzoyl peroxide thoroughly. I don't want to be responsible for bleaching out any favorite towels. Another thing that you can utilize is a medication called adapalene gel. It was a prescription agent up until a few years ago. It's in the retin-A family. What does that mean to you? It helps reduce inflammation. It also normalizes the shedding of the dead skin cells, so it prevents plug pores from forming, and it also gets rid of pre-existing plug pores. This is used at nighttime. You can find this medication at almost any store that has a cosmetic section, so Walgreens, Meijer, Target. There are two manufacturers. I should add that make this medication. One is Galderma's Differin, Differin, And the other manufacturer is La Roche-Posay, and they market that under Effaclar, Effaclar. Now, how to use these medications appropriately, there's a little trick to it. Retin A type products, vitamin A type products, I really should say, have a known history of causing irritation, but how you can work around this is preparing the skin at night. So you want to wash your skin about a half hour before you go to bed with a gentle cleanser. Cetaphil has wonderful cleansers. So does CeraVe hydrating wash, Dove soap, La Roche-Posay's hydrating cleanser. You do that and then you pat dry and then you wait a half hour. Gotta wait a half hour because if you put the medication on too soon, you will give yourself a home chemical peel, and that's never a good look. So the amount that you need is also something that you want to adhere to. A pea size or a chocolate chip size dab is enough for the entire face. I know my patients ask, how do I get that all over my face? Well, you put the little pea-sized dab in the palm of your hand, so you know this is all you have to work with, and you make smaller dots of it on the outer part of your face, and then you smooth it towards the center. Stay away from your eyelids because those are sensitive skin areas, but all you have to do is smooth it across, and it continues to creep out from where it was applied, so you don't need very much. After allowing it to dry, which is a very short period of time, you can use a moisturizer, and I encourage you to use a moisturizer with this. Um, Something like Cetaphil's or CeraVe PM moisturizer is really good. La Roche-Posay has a double facial moisturizer that's been very helpful. Adapalene gel is something that you don't want to use every single night right away. You may want to start out every third night and work up to every night as tolerated. You really should start seeing an improvement in anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. However, if you're not seeing a decrease in the number of pimples, they're still just as large as they were before, and they're still taking just as long as before to go away, or they're leaving you with pockmark or ice pick scars, then you got to go see a dermatology provider. There's a couple other things that you can do to help ensure that your skin is at its healthiest. We are what we eat. Unfortunately, with the stress this pandemic has caused, we gravitate towards the higher glycemic index foods, also known as the comfort foods, and alcohol. The reason for that is because it gives us an immediate boost of serotonin, which is the happy neurotransmitter, but it does not do you any favors in the long run. Because acne is an inflammatory disease process, it usually gives us an idea that if your face and your skin's not happy, the inside of you isn't happy either. So I really encourage you to eat very healthy, get your vegetables in. We actually need the nutrients that are in our vegetables to help repair our skin during this process. A lot of the vegetables that are green, yellow, red, try to eat the rainbow as we say. They offer a lot of those building blocks to help keep our skin healthy by reducing inflammation. The other thing is reducing stress in our life. Very stressful this last year. How can we do that to reduce those stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline? Work out, exercise. 150 minutes a week makes a big difference. Just ask that you clean your skin afterwards so that you remove all the sweat and oil that builds up during your exercise routine. The other thing is definitely meditate. Laura does a great job in giving us a meditative session weekly, so definitely utilize that. There are a couple mimickers for MASNI, and I just want to make sure you're aware of those. One is rosacea. It's an increase of blood flow to the surface of the skin, specifically affecting the nose, the cheeks, a little bit on the chin, maybe even on the forehead. Not only do you see the redness, sometimes you get acne with that too. We don't always know why that happens, but we do know that stress, cold, heat, wind, alcohol, certain foods can be triggers for that. If you are experiencing that, you need to see a dermatology provider because that requires prescription treatment. Another mimicker of MASNI is something called periorificial dermatitis. What does that mean? It means it's happening around the mouth, around the nose, or around the eyes. It shows up like pimples, but not like pimples. Patients complain that this skin change has been going on for months, and at times it looks better, and then it comes right back. The spots behave like small, tiny little pimples. Again, you need to see a dermatology provider to treat that one. The things that I mentioned would not help you. and get rid of that particular issue. So I hope you found this little segment helpful, maybe a little entertaining. But let's just keep wearing our masks so that we can go ahead and reduce those numbers, because I really want to see everybody this year. And if you got any questions or any concerns for me, please don't be afraid to reach out. You know how to reach me. And I can't wait to hear what the rest of the church members are going to do for BCC Masterclass. So please definitely volunteer. Love to see everybody and hear what you're up to. You take care now. Bye-bye.